Hello guys, and a really warm welcome back to the channel. My name is Ian and this channel is I Run Daily. What I'm going to talk to you about in this video is the reasons behind my choice to train for my next race with power rather than using heart rate or pace. So let's dive right into the 3 reasons. Now, reason number 1 is I think that power gives you real-time data that heart rate or pace just doesn't give you. My reasons for this are, if we look at heart rate, for example, there are many different factors that can actually have an impact on the heart rate reading that our watch is putting out or that our chest strap is putting out. That can include the amount of caffeine you've consumed. It could include how tired you are feeling, how dehydrated you are, what the weather conditions are like. These can all have an impact on your heart rate. The other popular way of training is through pace. Of course, as runners, that's what we're always thinking about, how fast we're going and what our times are in order to bring our overall running times down and get quicker. That's the key purpose of what we're doing. We know that when we run on trails, our overall pace is going to be slower. Obviously, when we're running up hills, our overall pace is going to be slower as well. So therefore, trying to run a 5k, for example, training run at a set pace, if the course is hilly or if you're on trails, it's not going to give you accurate data. And this can lead to you getting frustrated because you're not hitting those pace numbers. I'm sure we've all been there. Reason number 2, no lag. Now, what I mean by this is, if we have a little look at power versus heart rate on the screen now, we can see that when the effort starts, the power is immediate, pretty much. Okay, within a few seconds, we can see the power numbers that are being put out. Whereas with heart rate, there is a lag. It takes a little while for our heart rate number to come up to the prescribed number. So say we have to do an interval between, 160 and 165. If you're starting that from a recovery period, your heart rate might be in the 120s or the 130s, and it's going to take a while for the heart rate to get up to that number that you're trying to hit, which means that you could end up going out harder in the effort and then have to kind of pull back. But everything you're doing is going to be possibly even minutes behind what you are actually aiming to do. With power, you get that feedback pretty much instantly. So therefore, you know that you can start training in the right zone immediately. And reason number 3, and this is possibly one of the biggest reasons why I have chosen to do this next training block with power rather than heart rate or pace. I know from my experience doing Ironman triathlons, half distance triathlons, long endurance bike rides, power just works when it comes to pacing. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing a long distance event like a marathon or an ultra, or a short event like a 5k or a 10k. Pacing is so critical for your success in that event. And we've all been in those races where we've gone out too hard in the first half of a marathon, and then you just see your pace drop off and those kilometer splits get slower and slower and slower, and it's so disheartening. You know that feeling when you first start a run or you first start a race and you get going and you feel great. The legs feel fresh, the breathing feels easy, heart rate is low, and you think, I've got this, I'm on for a good time today. But then over time, that effort catches up with you. What power teaches you to do is it forces you to hold back in the first part of that race so that your effort is nice and even and measured. And ultimately, that can hopefully lead to a strong finish where you can give it your all in the last part of that race. So there you have it, guys. 3 quick reasons as to why I've chosen to use power over heart rate or pace as a way to structure and measure my training over this next training block. Reason number 1 is the real-time data it gives me. Reason number 2 is there's no lag when I'm going into doing my efforts. And reason number 3 is, from my experience, I know it's been successful and it's worked when I've done Ironman and long distance cycling events. So fingers crossed, it will be the same on the run. I hope this video has been of use to you. I'm really interested to hear what your comments are, so drop them down below and we can discuss the pros and the cons about using power over heart rate or over pace. I'm sure there are lots and I'm really open to that debate. Thank you very much for watching, and come back very soon and we'll update how the training is going.